ever wonder why we're here? It's one of life's great mysteries, isn't it?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Must Be Dice Season 3, The Forgotten Planet. Last time, we saw our heroes. They had narrowly avoided being devoured by giant birds after crash landing onto a strange, unknown planet. They were saved by a group of short, amphibious-looking creatures wielding nothing more than musical instruments. With no idea where they are or how their ship crashed into an entire planet without warning, our beaten-down crew of bounty hunters find themselves lost on the Forgotten Planet. Hey, y'all, how's it going?
Oh, it's going all right.
It's going pretty good.
It's been a little bit scary, but we've been making it through.
Just to recap, you guys are pretty, as I said in the intro, beaten down. You're kind of fucked up, but not too much. Your species is very much built for combat. You're kind of a warring, that's why you took on this job. So, although these gashes and stuff might be bad for a human type species, you're fine. You're rolling with it. Those things are gonna seal up in a day or two.
I'm also fine.
You are, yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I've just been like, what's going on?
And you're sticky and gooey as usual.
I guess I'm tickling in, I'm good.
Let's start where we left off with this little elderly frog-like creature greeting you in a very strange unknown language.
Yeah.
He comes up, you greet him with the waving arms.
Hands, yeah.
He kind of waves back, kind of confused, but you can tell that this is a greeting. And he goes,
Blah, 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 blah.
I'm looking at my thing and I go, I don't know what he said. This is not translating.
Let's try in our language. Greetings, strangers. Thank you for aiding us in slaying our aviary enemies.
The kind of pod of creatures all kind of just look at each other, and the elderly creature greeting you kind of nods, kind of looks a little concerned, and kind of looks at you and goes, motions towards himself and goes, Gobo.
I think he's talking about your sacks.
May I?
Go for it.
Hello to you and yous. Give me a second. Gooch just like shakes like a big shaggy dog and just covers the whole tribe.
Okay.
But in like really nice, clear goo.
They kind of react with being splattered, but they don't seem too concerned with it because they're also kind of slimy. Yeah. And they kind of look at each other, kind of smile. They're like, "Hey!" And they kind of all kind of give a little wiggle back. And Gobo, who kind of seems to approve. He's, all right, hey, cool. And then once again he goes, Gobo, and then motions back.
Captain.
Captain. Wait, by the way, let me establish. These are aquatic, amphibious creatures. They don't have the vocal cords to make a lot of cuz and tuz and things like that.
Sure.
So it's more of a buh and guh, and they're very blubbery language.
All right, let me try again. Ort Antares. Captain.
Or
Perfect. Washburn.
wobble.
Wubba.
The gooch.
Goop. Nods and and you can see it has a neck sack similar to yours, kind of spreads and inflates, and he kind of opens up, and you can tell that this is kind of like he's giving you more of a kind of official, kind of ceremonial, traditional greeting. And he looks and he goes, "Goop wobble," and he kind of nods. And then kind of a darkness goes over him, and he turns and he points at the big flaming inferno that is your ship, the main body of your ship. And he kind of just makes he kind of motions that nothing's good over there.
Bad parking job.
Sorry about the mess.
Cap, let's just go hang out with these guys for a while. They seem all right.
They seem to have taken a liking to you, Gooch.
Do you have food?
And he kind of nods, scoots over, kind of pats Gooch, and maybe gives him a bit more of a rub than he should. Kind of rubs you and goes, kind of motions, and they all kind of turn and start moving. In fact, sort of the way they came.
I'm gonna lean over to Washburn. Keep your head on a swivel. You never know what kind of tricks this planet's gonna throw at us.
They don't speak words.
You're right. That's the first sign of hostility.
We're gonna follow them.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. All right, so you guys follow him. And it is night, after a long trek and pretty awkward silence, interrupted by the occasional accosting of Gooch. Every now and then, one of them kind of comes up to you and kind of gives you a little neck waggle and a little wink.
It's all good.
You emerge from the dense bog to find a sun rising in the east. And across a soggy meadow bathed in orange hues, you see a large river flowing into a vast blue ocean. Where the river meets the shore, there's a modest seaside town made up of white domed structures of varying sizes, some quite large.
Cute.
Many of the buildings are accented with bright, vibrant colors, the same colors that you see kind of adorning their clothes. Reds, aquas, yellows. On the river, you see dozens and dozens of water wheels. You also notice that the town seems to spread naturally out into the ocean. And in fact, more than half of the town seems to be floating along the coast. You see that those seaside domes are in fact spheres, almost kind of like little bubbles. And this part of town is also rimmed with a large network of docks, and you see many boats coming and going. This is an active village. This little band that greeted you, they're one of thousands. This is a big town.
Frogtown.
Frogtown.
The sun is rising. You see this big town. The band of your escorts, they kind of stop and kind of nod. They see their home.
Look at the size of that sea. Reminds me of the Great Lakes of my homeworld, when I would look out upon the water with my 5 fathers.
What are their names?
Yeah, treat us.
What are your father's names?
Tony, Silvio, Polly, Christopher, and Hesh.
Oh, really?
I think I went on a date with Hash once.
Oh,
Yeah.
he never told me about that.
Yeah. We were very young.
A new family dynamic has just popped
Great
up.
lay.
All right, so as you guys are talking, you start moving towards the town. You tried a few times during your trip to maybe communicate with these creatures, but there's not really much you can do. So you're just kind of following them. But you do notice that there are no big ships. There's nothing kind of interstellar, no advanced technology. And as you enter the town proper, many of the locals gather to gawk. Most of them seem only interested in Gooch.
Look at that, Washburn. They're gawking at Gooch.
You're gawking at Gooch?
Now, the streets are crowded, and this whole place is bustling with activity. There are tinted shops lining the streets. The sense of roasted fish and rich spices fill the air. This feels a lot like many of the other planets you've been to. It's familiar. And among the crowd, suddenly coming through them, weaving, is a dumpy little newt-like creature on an equally dumpy electric scooter. Veers around the corner, coming straight at you. Roll to dodge.
1.
Really?
Yeah.
19.
15.
All right, you two, a bit more nimble. You don't even have to dive. You just kind of, get out of the way. You're used to the flow of traffic. You've been, to really busy places. Ort, maybe even out of spite, you just kind of stand your ground. And this this newt-like creature, he's got a big stack of crates on the back of his thing. His eyes go wide and smashes straight into you. And you're so big that basically he gets clotheslined by your crotch. Bong! He falls backwards. His bike shoots out. The crates go everywhere, spilling these kind of juicy, plump fruits. And he goes flat on the ground, and he's just kind of looking up at you. He just starts bubbling with rage.
Apologies, citizen. I've warned smaller folk to wear helmets around the undercarriage.
Your band of escorts, they all just kind of explode with laughter. And everyone doesn't seem to take this as it's a bad thing. They're all just kind of it's a busy city, accidents happen all the time. The little elderly guy, elderly frog, kind of motions to one of his, a few of his guys. They kind of pick him up, pat him, kind of say something to him, motions to you three, and he just kind of looks frustrated and gives you kind of a shake of the fist, but then kind of turns back to, kind of picks up his bike and kind of defeated, starts stacking his stuff in. The elder kind of motions He just kind of laughs, shakes his head, and motions for you guys to keep going. All right, so you're back on your way. Your little group of escorts, they lead you down kind of this main road up to one of the larger domes near the center of town. As you go in, you can see that the interior looks much like maybe a lobby to a hotel or an embassy. Clusters of seats and small tables, probably for waiting. Pass through this room into a larger open auditorium. All your escorts, save for the little elderly man, disperse. They go back on their way. As you enter, you can see each side of this room is lined with stacks and stacks of small ottoman-like seats. And at the end is a large dais. Atop it, you see two creatures seated in modest thrones with one empty chair beside them. And as you approach, you can see that they are dressed in decorative robes similar to that of your elderly companion. And one of them, as you get closer, appears to be a salamander-like creature, similar in age to Gobo. And the other is a worn, decrepit-looking kind of slug, slouched there, just looking almost dead. It almost looks dead on the spot. As you come up, Gobo motions towards a few of these little tiny seats, very much sized for character or creatures like Gooch. And right before the dais, you're kind of almost being presented to this council.
How big is Gooch compared to like me? Because I'm like a human.
He's like half your size.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a little fella,
Okay.
and I'm big.
So Gooch just struts right up and plops his weird gelatinous body right in that chair.
And as with most things you do, we hear kind of like a
Yeah.
as he kind of sinks into his seat.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of squat on it because it's like a little footstool.
Yeah.
A little
Ort grabs
footstool.
two chairs, puts them next to each other, one for each cheek.
Cool. yeah. They're basically Ort cheek sized
Yeah.
seats. So as y'all sit down, the exhaustion kind of washes over you guys. You've been through a crash, been through a fight, and you've been traveling for hours across this kind of bog and then over the meadow through the town.
Mud has shrank back down now. It's been a while, right?
Sorry guys, I forgot about Mud. Yeah.
That's okay. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna pull one of the things. I'm gonna set Mud. I'm gonna put Mud on the little stool,
Aw.
and Mud just curls into a ball
Yeah.
and takes a nap.
Since the fight, Mud basically didn't get to do anything. He wasn't really a help. He seemed pretty down on himself since that fight. As it is, whenever he goes big and shrinks back down, he did pass out immediately.
Yeah.
But after he woke up, you did notice that he's very,
He's sad.
yeah, he's bummed. He's bummed that, he didn't get to do his part. So after y'all take your seat, Gobo he turns to the dais, which is about as high as him. He kind of struggles to get up. He's got his cane, he's trying to kind of put his weight on his cane, but he very much is struggling to get up onto the dais. For some reason, there are no stairs.
Ort will leap forward with his sword drawn
Okay.
and lean it against the dais as a ramp.
Oh, beautiful.
Aw.
Gobo is very appreciative, and he kind of, steps up onto it very wearily. He doesn't have very good balance. And then he goes up and he sits in that open seat. As he settles in, they all kind of just sit there, kind of looking at you guys, content and smiling. And Gobo does kind of a little hand pat, but nothing else. And now you guys are just kind of all sitting there in silence, staring at each other.
Is this a presentation, do you think?
Or they're looking at their next meal.
Maybe they could eat Gooch, but they seem to like Gooch.
Yeah,
I don't
love-
think they're
why would
gonna
they
eat. I don't think they're gonna eat Gooch. Nobody wants to eat Gooch.
We might be on the menu.
So as you're sitting there, it's very awkward. But then you start to hear this kind of shrill, squeaking rhythm through this little door on the right.
Oh, jeez.
Appearing in the door is this young little kind of slimy lizard type creature in simple shorts and vest, kind of woven in that kind of rough fabric.
Cool shorts, you say?
Cool shorts, yeah, very cool shorts.
All right.
He's just drenched. The clothes are soaked through, and he's kind of pushing this large cart with this big, rusty sphere that's kind of ribbed with horizontal seams. It's almost like a lot of kind of flat discs that kind of go up and make this kind of dark sphere. He's made it into the room, but it's a pretty big auditorium, and he's just slowly pushing it, and you hear the as he's pushing it. Does anyone want to help him out?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm-
tired.
I'll go down. I'll help him out. I just slide right off that stool, and I do the traditional greeting of my people, which is to sort of regurgitate a pile of bile into your hand and just gently slather it on the person's face.
Okay.
Gooch, is that customary?
Yeah, we all do it.
All right. Ort leans over.
And then I help him. And then I motion. I'm like, okay, and I help him push this thing back up.
He's very confused, kind of stands there, doesn't know what to do for a moment, but then he kind of runs over and
He likes
helps you
it.
start
He
pushing.
likes it.
And although one of the wheels seems kind of busted, it's the wheel that's kind of squeaking. You easily get it over. You're a strong boy.
Yeah, of course.
And he kind of has you stop it right in between where your seats are and where the council is kind of stationed. He kind of gives you a nod, picks up this huge kind of cable that is running out of the sphere. He just kind of darts back out of the room, back the way he came. And a moment later, this sphere thing, it's kind of dark, kind of a dark gold with in between all of the discs was black, but all those kind of black slits kind of light up with lights. And it begins to emit almost this quiet whirring noise. It sounds kind of like maybe a little PC fan or something like that. You see him kind of peek back in. He's still drenched, and he kind of gives Gooch a sticky little thumb up. And then he kind of pops away. Now this device lets out a ding, and on cue, the elderly frog speaks in his strange language. And the device responds with a few quick beeps and burps. It dings again and produces words just like that of the frog. He then motions to y'all, touching his mouth and pointing at the device.
I assume he wants bile, so I go over and
Gooch, no, that's.
no, and I just another real slow one.
Gooch, I think we're past customary greetings.
Okay, so you climbed up onto the dais and rubbed it on him, and he just kind of nods and motions back to the machine. Goes,
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
I'll handle this one, Gooch. And Ort walks over and just puts his lips on it. Just,
Okay. When you go, I'll handle this one, Gooch, and then you go down to kind of mouth it.
I go down on it.
Yeah, you go down on it. You hear it go, kind of repeat back what you said. I'll handle this one, Gooch. And it kind of beep, 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 just like it did before. And then the device dings again, and it goes, Galactic Standard detected. And then it dings again. Translation relay now ready for use. Rhombus Galactic. We're bringing a better tomorrow today. And also simultaneously, it seems to maybe make that same statement, but in that blubbery alien language.
I'm sitting there being like, these guys are idiots. I knew what it was the whole time.
And right on cue, after that introduction is done, as Gobo speaks in his language, this device produces his voice. It sounds very much like his voice, but in Galactic Standard, which is what y'all speak. And he says, "Hello, friends. Welcome to Begon. I'm very sorry for what happened to you. You are safe now in our peaceful village, and we welcome you with open arms and full gullets."
Ort directs his attention to the device. He says, "Thank you for bringing us into your village and offering your hospitality in these trying times. Strange device."
And just like it did with Gobo, as you're speaking, it translates for them both what you say and what Gooch says. So you can tell that you now just have immediate communication with these guys.
You've probably heard by now that you should be using a VPN, but if you're like me, adding an extra step to anything you do every day just sounds like a hassle. Well, if you knew how easy it was to protect your connection with ExpressVPN, you'd be doing it already. ExpressVPN is the easiest way to browse safely, securely, and just better. ExpressVPN gets rid of all those things you hate about VPNs. It's a VPN done right. First of all, it's blazing fast. Lots of other VPNs slow your connection to the point where it's not even worth it to connect. But ExpressVPN doesn't lag, nor does it buffer. You can stream in HD with no issues. Using it couldn't be easier. Just open the ExpressVPN app, Click one button and enjoy instant protection across all your devices. The fact is, once you connect to ExpressVPN, you don't even realize you have it on. But your connection is secure, your data is encrypted, and you can spoof your location. No wonder it's been called the best VPN by CNET. Right now, go to expressvpn.com/mustbedice and you can get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. That's expressvpn.com/mustbedice to get 3 extra months of ExpressVPN. expressvpn.com/mustbedice. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Looking for more ways to save this spring? HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% cheaper than takeout. No worries if you're not a pro in the kitchen. HelloFresh's foolproof recipes arrive pre-portioned and easy to prepare in just a few steps. April is Earth Month, and HelloFresh is always committed to a cleaner planet. On average, HelloFresh meals have a 31% lower carbon footprint than the same meals made from supermarket ingredients. Good food is too precious to waste. HelloFresh's pre-portioned ingredients cut down on your food waste by at least 23% compared to grocery shopping, which is good for your wallet and the planet. Ooh, baby, just the other night, I made some honey butter barbecue chicken with some mashed sweet potatoes and ooh, decadent. And it felt nice and healthy, and we didn't have to go out and shop for ingredients or get takeout, save some money. Oh yeah, we've told you about Every Plate before, and they are now owned by HelloFresh. With a wider array of meal plans to choose from, there's something for everyone. I like switching between the brands, and now you can enjoy both brands at a discount. Go to HelloFresh.com/mustbedice50 and use code mustbedice50 for 50% off. Plus your first box ships free. That's HelloFresh.com/mustbedice50 and use code mustbedice50 for 50% off. Plus your first box of America's #1 meal kit ships for free.
Washburn is looking at the device and she asks, "Where did you get this?" We don't see much technology here.
So yeah, let me actually address that. On your way in, you did see that the water wheels that were lining the river did seem to be going into some electric generators of sorts. They don't seem super advanced, stuff like you'd see in cities and stuff, but they do seem to have electricity.
Yeah.
There was that little electric Vespa. Some people had little devices and stuff. So you do know that there is technology, but that is a great question. And in response, that little salamander responds and says, "I am Yala. Beside us is Moo, the eldest of us." And Moo just kind of sitting there and just goes, "Oh, we do not really know. We have had these devices for a long time. Everything we have here has been here. We have lived in this small town, this humble place, for a very long time."
I think I understand, XO. It's a translation device.
Yes, I knew what it was.
The captain's always got to stay sharp.
Gobo chimes in again and says, "Although we sort of discussed it back at your ship, we apologize for what happened to you. No one wants to see flames like that, and we did see what looked like your ship as well burned, and we can tell you with absolute certainty there were no survivors."
Darn.
We already also knew that.
I was still holding out hope that maybe Holland or Avery might have pulled himself off the deck.
No, I saw their dead bodies.
God rest.
I'm not ready to accept it, XO.
Yala, the little salamander, says, "How did you get here? We have very few visitors."
Well, our ship, we crash landed and we don't know how.
It was probably a logistical error. Probably on the pilot's plate there, but the pilot's dead too. So, not really sure where to shift the blame on this one.
Captain, if I may. Do you have any cigarette? Cigarette!
Gooch.
Yeah.
Ask her about spaceships too.
Do you have any spaceships?
When you ask that question, you do hear, kind of as you say cigarettes, you just hear the device go, it basically doesn't translate what you say. As you're saying that, it kind of just makes a few little like buzzes. Gobo kind of lights up and he goes, I don't know what that first thing was, but there are ships. There are many ships on this planet. We do not have use for them, but there are many cities that do have these ships you speak of.
Yes, I'd say we're in the market for a new ship.
So Gobo kind of deflates almost, his gullet kind of shrinks in, and he goes, speaking of ships, we've had troubles ourselves. What used to be a very peaceful life has become quite harsh. We had a great protector, a great beast, very peaceful, who watched over us and this region. But he has been missing for months. And since his departure, much of the wildlife around the region has become quite hostile. Shortly after the disappearance of our great protector, these ships started arriving in our town and demanding payment. So although we do not know of these ships, maybe they will.
Well, we always knew these forgotten planets were havens for fugitives and
Ne'er-do-wells.
runaways, ne'er-do-wells in general. Well put. So it sounds like that's our key to getting off planet.
Yeah, do you guys have like a pack of space donkeys or something we can ride to find these gangs?
No.
No.
And he kind of says that and just kind of sits there and he goes, oh,
Yeah.
but this gang does come rather frequently and they are due. They demand payment in the form of charged batteries. We provide these batteries for many of the villages around our region. We've been having to give almost all of them to these gangs.
These gangs, they're not from here?
No,
What do they look like?
they're rapscallions.
Okay.
Ah, scallions.
Shallots.
Yeah.
Many species, quite different from our own. They wear these strange, shiny jackets of red with a crude drawing of one of these ships on its back. It says something in a strange foreign script that we do not know.
Well, no matter what they wear, I bet they'll get chopped in half all the same.
Do they have weapons?
Very much so, yes. They are quite dangerous and very quick to use these weapons despite a lack of threat on our part.
Now, Bogo, how many of them are there?
When they first started arriving, they would come in droves. But lately, after finding that we are a peaceful people and refuse violence at all costs, they've been coming in quite small packs.
All right, Gooch is just sitting there like tracing lazy circles on the king's head. That old ass king.
Oh, so you're still up.
I went back to
on
my
the-
seat and I'm just sitting there. He doesn't know. He's too fucking old.
Yeah, Ort's already sharpening his blade.
So maybe we strike a deal. We help you capture these bandits, non-violently, of course,
Okay.
and they will lead you to possibly a ship that can get you home. What do you say?
Are they participating in the deal at all, or are we just doing a thing and taking a ship?
No, they're gonna.
So they're gonna help us capture the
Yes,
the
we will
bandits.
help you.
But what do they
see.
get out of it?
They get to
no
keep
more
their,
bandits.
Yeah, their fucking batteries or whatever they're talking about.
Yeah,
We
they
need
get to
these
keep their
batteries.
Yeah.
Won't there just be another group of bandits?
He kind of goes, one thing at a time.
Yeah. We'll non-violently remove as many as we can.
Above you, the dome, there's a blast, and the dome blasts open, and huge chunks of debris come down right on top of y'all. Give it a roll.
14.
5.
So I see this debris coming.
Yeah, this debris is coming down right on top.
I pick up the little king guy that I've been, hanging out with, and I just hold him up over my head.
Okay.
Kind of like an umbrella to keep the worst of the debris from falling off.
Luckily, because you're up on the dais
Yeah.
with the council, none of the debris really falls around then. Just some rocks.
Okay.
And you hear kind of and you feel
Yeah.
kind of a little force, and you hear Gobo kind of go, ah!
Sorry. There you go.
Ort rolled a 14.
You have your fast reflexes.
So naturally, he kicks up his giant sword that he was using as a ramp and holds it over his head as
Like-
an umbrella.
Like a piercing or
Oh,
kind
like
of
this.
sideways? Okay. One large chunk of debris slams down onto the sword, but it really doesn't, you're strong, it just kind of, but you hear your sword go, that was a big force, and it gets a good charge.
Ooh.
Washburn, what happens to you?
I rolled a 5.
Although it's not the biggest chunk, you do get knocked right in the noggin. But you do have a titanium plating in your skull. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, that hurts so bad.
What happened to your voice?
Yeah, it hits me in the head and then like, oh no.
XO, what happened? What happened to your voice?
I don't know, just got hit in the head and I just suddenly, I don't know.
I'll use the hilt of my sword to bonk her in the head again.
Okay.
Immediately?
18.
You knock her in just the right way.
What just happened to me? Oh my God.
Oh, XO, I thought we lost you.
Oh,
And through the hole in the dome, you can see a small, dinged-up aircraft hovering in the air. This vessel is shaped a bit like a boomerang, and it's bright yellow.
cool. Banana.
Cool.
Cap, we need to get that shit.
I agree. Let's get on board. Who's in that thing? What are they doing?
As you kind of assess the situation, 3 ropes drop from the vessel, soon followed by 3 rowdy gangsters kind of screaming as they come down. Yahoo! Bright red, shiny, matching jackets. They're facing the elders, and you can see on the back there's a big kind of stereotypical rocket ship. In big black lettering, you see it says Red Riders.
Oh, are they snapping their fingers and
Sorta,
dancing
yeah.
in unison?
Yeah, they're all
Alright.
very like,
Yeah.
you know, they're up energy, they're all kind of amped
I
up.
dealt with this before.
What do they look like as far as what are they?
One of them appears to be kind of this ratty gray weasel, very kind of tubular body. The jacket kind of doesn't go all the way down. It looks kind of weird on him because he's got a long torso. Another one is kind of this white bat-looking creature. It's got a bat face, but it doesn't have wings. And then the last one is kind of this kind of squat, frail human, actually. Very ginger, covered in freckles.
Okay.
Took a weird
And so as they come down, they're kind of like, ah, yeah! And they just immediately start harassing the elders. Where's the battery? You do hear they have these little wristwatches that kind of go blah blah blah. They themselves have their own translators, but you can understand them. They are speaking in Galactic Standard.
Mid-sentence, Gooch grabs the redhead and shoves him inside his body cavity, which slowly digests this guy, but he leaves his head out so he can, give us information.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing.
Okay, give it a roll.
All right.
All right. So
Grab him by the scruff of his stupid red neck, and I shove him in my gut. Well, it's everything but his head. His head's just sticking out like this, so we can talk. And my juices are like slowly dissolving. Jacket first.
So you rolled an 11.
Yeah.
They were a bit of a distance away. So let's say you start doing that. You run over and you're kind of grabbing him, and he's kind of, oh God! He's kind of freaking out. And the gray weasel who started demanding batteries, he kind of turns and goes, what the heck? and the white bat goes, who are these schlubs? Let's roll for initiative.
8.
19.
Fort, you're gonna get things started off.
Are the ropes still dangling down?
They are, yes.
I will close the distance by leaping from these tiny ottomans onto the rope
Okay.
and jumping through the air, swinging my large orch slab.
All right, roll for that jump.
Ha! 8!
All right, so
I gotta stop
The
jumping.
chair's still stuck to his ass.
Yeah, as we established before, you are not the most nimble of creatures. You hop up onto the ottomans, and you go to jump out, and with your weight, both of the ottomans just kind of like snap back. Yeah, and so they fly out from under you, and you basically just do like a and then tumble onto the ground. So now the gray weasel goes, cool, let's take care of this guy. And the white bat goes, you got it, boss. The weasel takes a leap towards Washburn, and the white bat takes a leap towards Gooch, and he goes, I got you, Kyle.
Kyle? The weasel is Kyle?
No, the red.
No, the human, the
red
ginger
head
human.
is, okay.
So the gray weasel, as he kind of darts towards you, whips out 2 kind of glass daggers, and he comes straight for you. Oh fuck! How about you roll as well?
12.
He comes in, pushing off of his back foot, just straight at you, and before you can even register what they are, he pulls out the daggers and does like an X slice, and you get your arm out, but you're cut through the arm. And then this white bat beelines for you and Kyle. Oh man, what is it? It was a 19.
All right.
And he kind of dives at you and kind of gets his arm around Kyle and kind of shoves his wrist up into your kind of the top of your mouth, gets in and positions himself very well.
And I rolled for what my response to that?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so his hand goes into my head, but it's just acid like everything else.
Okay.
So the fingers he was using to snap with a minute ago, gone.
Okay, so yeah, as he
Just
pushes
gone.
in, it's almost like he's squeezing a sponge almost.
Yeah,
and
it just dissolves. Where's your jaunty to now? And I laugh a lot.
Isn't Kyle currently inside of your mouth?
No, Kyle's in my gut, and he's screaming because the
So you have another opening. That
yeah,
leads to
the
your gut.
viscous acids that make up my midsection have started to dissolve through his clothes onto his actual skin,
Okay.
which is almost gone. This guy's fingers are done. He can't snap anywhere.
Okay.
All right, and he flies back and falls to the ground, and Kyle's just still writhing. Where'd you get that shit, you ginger piece of shit?
This guy's like bigger than you too.
The white bat, as he shoves his hand up into your face, ooze just sprays out onto him. You can see his skin just kind of bubble, and it doesn't dissolve away,
Nope.
but it definitely just gets fucked up, pretty much. And he snaps his hand back like, ah! His ears kind of shoot out, and he tumbles backwards away from you. And Kyle, oh God. He tries to get out, but you can just see kind of like almost this vapor pouring out of this large sphincter that he's stuck in. His head is peeking out, and he's just like shrieking.
Cap, what do you want me to do with this guy?
Washburn, you are up.
The one thing came to me, the weasel. and
Yeah, so you
sliced.
currently have this weasel on top of you. He has done a slash, and the only thing you were able to do was just kind of like get your arm up and take like half a step backwards. Right now, he is kind of like mid-leap, has slashed these things. You got your arm up. What happens?
I reach on my, whatever. I've got something attached to me, my bolus. I whip him down around his ankles, and I want to yoink it and then hold him up like this.
Okay, give it a roll.
That silly weasel. Oh boy. Gooch is the only one. who's like
What did you roll there?
1.
Wash?
It's a
Okay.
I'm a weathered veteran.
So
Very weathered.
too weathered.
you're very skilled. You are very skilled, but maybe that because of your exhaustion, everything you've been through,
Gravity's different here.
than what you're used to. You've been on a lot of different lighter planets, heavier planets. You whip out your bolos, give him a quick spin, go down, and as you're whipping him, he naturally, because he's running at you, that's the next step that he's taking. His foot just kind of lifts up. Your bullets swing right under him and right around your legs, sinking your legs together, and you just kind of teeter forward and
Like
go.
pull him and
Oh, not
Yeah.
another head
bonk
bonk.
again.
Well, go face first,
Oh,
right
man.
into the solid
Oh,
hard
bloody
stone.
hell!
Yeah.
No, XO! Wash, no!
It hurts so bad.
It's Kyle's turn, but he is basically incapacitated. You can feel him wriggling around inside of your gullet,
Yeah.
screaming, childish little toddler scream.
I'm just melting him a little.
Ort, you are up.
All right, Ort's feeling humiliated. He stands up, he's tired of just falling down. So, he's gonna do this thing that he hasn't done yet. So, where's that weasel?
That weasel is
Standing
only
over me.
about like 8 feet away from you. Lindsay fell forward, and he kind of, with this one big thing, he went a little behind her, and he's kind of spinning around right now, kind of looking down at Washburn.
All right, Washburn's on the floor.
Yeah.
So, it seems like there's a lot more room to work with. Washburn on the floor. So, I'm going to do this thing that the Ort slab can do. I'm going to detach the blade. After one impact charge, a second trigger can be pulled that will detach the blade from the hilt, connected by a tether of energy. The blade can be swung about, returning to the hilt after a short period of time.
All right.
So stand up, plant his feet, detach the hilt, and just swing it horizontally through the room. 18.
Oh, all right. So this is just huge force behind these thick, sinewy arms. You swing it, you pull that trigger at just the right time. You see this thing kind of shoot out, but it's tethered with kind of this rope of energy, and it just does this huge arc across the room, and it goes right over Washburn immediately, slices straight through this gray weasel. With the blood, there's also kind of smoke and vapor that you just sliced right through this thing. And he kind of spins up, his eyes go blank, and the top half of his torso lands on the ground, and his legs kind of wobble and then go flop down to the knees and then flop down.
He releases one of his cool Captain One-liners.
Yeah.
Weasels shouldn't wear red.
Okay. After you say that, the art completes and your sword gracefully just locks back in. The blade locks back into the grip. And despite the catchphrase,
Yeah.
your action was very cool.
It's a good catchphrase.
Yeah. So Grey Weasel's out. Y'all kind of look around and you see that the other two gangsters were just almost immediately incapacitated by Gooch. Kyle, his head is sticking out, just screaming in terror, eyes rolling into the back of his head. And the white bat, you can see that goop has kind of dripped down halfway down his forearm, and he's just kind of laying there on his back. He's just kind of shaking and like
That's what you get.
that's all. He's just staring at his arm in terror. He's forgotten about everything except this searing pain pulsing through his body.
All right, so I've kind of lessened the amount of acid that's going on. So now Kyle, he's in a way merged with my torso. Mm-hmm. And you know, when you kill someone in battle on my planet, you own them. Mm-hmm. So now Kyle is mine.
So is he dead?
No.
Okay.
His head is just, he wishes he was dead.
Yeah.
His head is just part of my body now, and it will remain there. And,
Okay.
And he's just, you know, he does what I say now.
For the rest of the show,
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I go, I read about this once.
He's just going.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's crying for his mom.
Yeah.
He's broken. He'll tell us what we need.
Y'all have made quick work of these wannabe gangsters. Washburn, despite your decades of experience in combat, things don't always go, how we want them to. You kind of, I don't know, I guess maybe start fiddle with your bolos and get them.
Yeah, I get him off my own fucking ankles.
Okay, and then
Rubbing my head like, oh. Then I take a sip from I go, oh, that's fucking weird when that shit happens to me.
everything kind of comes to like stills, and you look over, and the elders are there, and they're just kind of like in wonder, and they go, "My God, you are great warriors, most of you."
see, Council of Elders, violence is fun.
Well, we don't know about that, but it was pretty cool, and there was no danger really with these bandits.
Really?
Yeah, y'all have been bounty hunting for years and years. So just a couple of wannabe gangsters was nothing to you. Mm-hmm. You've got them. What do you plan to do with them?
We want to take their shit, don't we?
Yeah.
We can make him talk, too.
I'm going to introduce Kyle to everybody.
Okay.
And we'll get what we need to know out of him.
We want to make him talk. We want to make him squeal.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's end it there. Next time we can maybe get some information out of these hoodlums. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching episode 2 of Must Be Dice season 3, The Forgotten Planet. We will see you next time.